Hello everybody and welcome back to the flight deck. We're continuing our tour of the US lower 48 and we're currently sitting here in Salem, Oregon, and it's another beautiful day here on the US West Coast. We're going to be heading from here down to Sacramento, the capital of California, and it's about a 2-hour flight time. A bunch of waypoints as we head down the coast and on the edge of the mountains that run down through this part of the world. So let's hop on board and we can get the aircraft set up and ready to go. Alright, we have 48 passengers on board today, and we'll quickly run through and get everything set. So parking brake is set, thrust levers or throttle levers are in flight idle, control lock is on, condition levers are in fuel shutoff, flaps are in agreement, up and retracted, batteries are currently off, wipers are off, we'll make sure the heat's off, circuit breakers are all checked, weather radar is in up, and oxygen and masks are checked. Alright, so getting the aircraft ready, battery will come on, AC generator, DC generators are on, right and left batteries are now on, DC external power is on, bus tie is now closed, generators 1 through 4 are off. Flight data recorder is in normal, ELT is in auto. Fuel T-handles are in. Fire and smoke warning tests, they don't do anything, so we'll treat them as done. Moving down, windshield wipers are off, windshield heat is off, airframe de-ice is off, pitot-static heaters are off, propeller de-ice is off, battery temperatures are coming up and are checked, position lights are now on. Engine ignitions, engines 1 through 4 are in normal. Auxiliary fuel pumps 1 through 4 are all off. Fuel transfer is off and tanks are closed. Fuel quantity is checked. Engine start is off. Start selector is off. Cabin pressurization controls are set to auto. AC external power is off. Inverter set to left bus. AC generators 1 through 4 are off. Engine bleeds 1 through 4 are off. Temperature controls, both the flight compartment and the cabin, are set to auto. Seatbelt signs are on, no smoking signs are on, and the emergency exit lights are now armed. And we can begin boarding the aircraft. There we go. Alright, so moving down to the bottom, the clocks are set. It is the local time, just after 12:30 in the morning, or afternoon. Flight taxi switch is set to taxi. GPWS is tested. The yaw control switch is normal and guarded. Flight directors are tested and both are good. Both the standby. Landing lights and taxi lights are off. PFCS switches are off. Autopilot system configuration is set to the captain's side. Caution and advisory lights we will test. Here's the caution lights coming up, and advisories are looking good as well. Anti-skid light is now on. Steering is checked. Stall and overspeed warnings are checked. Flight instruments are looking good. We will set the VORs on our indicator over here. Altimeter, we'll get our current weather here in Salem. There's been an update, and let me just grab it here. 3004 will be the barrel. I'll throw it into the chat. As you can see, winds of 320 at 7. We're going to take off on runway 31. 10 miles of visibility. The sky's clear. So 3014 or 3004 we will set, and we'll just pop over to Roger's side and set that as well. There we go. So altimeters are set. DMEs, we're going to turn them on. And we're going to set my side to DME 1 and Rogers will stay on DME 2. Hello, Molly. Could you go back to your door? Your position at the door, please. Thank you. Alright. Gyro controls and compass is set to slave. Hydraulic quantities are checked and parking brake pressure is there. Today we're flying at 17,000 feet. We're kind of wiggling back and forth between VORs, but generally speaking our course is eastward. So we're going to be at 17,000 feet for the cruise. We'll just dial that in. There we go. 17,000 feet is set in our altitude select. No ATC on at the moment, so we won't be getting a different initial climb altitude. So prop auto feather is set to off. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Engine instruments are looking good. Landing gear mute horn. Come over to this side. Give it a push. Works as it is supposed to. Pitch and roll disconnects are good. Weather radar is in-op transponder. We've been given a auto transponder code 1645. We are on VATSIM. So we will be using that. So 1645 is entered in. COM and nav radios. The CTAF frequency here at Salem is 119.
When you find your seat, please be sure to place your larger carry-on items
and once we're through 10,000 feet, we'll switch over to 122.
Unless you're in a front row, please place all of your items in the overhead
now set there.
If you have any trouble
Comms 2 will go to 121.5.
please let a flight attendant know and we would be happy to assist you. If
There we
the
go.
overhead
That
bin
is now
full,
set there.
please make sure you
For our
close it
nav
as a
radios,
courtesy to other passengers.
we'll be doing VOR
Please double-check
navigation
that
again
all your
today.
items are put away so
First
that the aisle
one is the
clear and other
CVO
passengers can
VOR.
make their way
That
to their
is a
seats.
frequency of
If you're in an
1154.
emergency exit row, please read the exit seating responsibilities in
That
the
is
card
now
in the seat
dialed
back
in.
front of you.
The next
If you're not
frequency
able
will
to
be
comply with these
1129.
actions, please let a flight
That
attendant
is
know.
dialed
That
in.
way
We'll
you
come
can
over to
proceed.
nav2.
Now's the time to get
So
out any
1129
last-minute
will
text
go
messages
in.
if you need to, but we ask that once we depart from
And the next one after that, RBG is going to be
welcome aboard.
1082. So we'll set 1082 in that one on the standby. So that's set. Heading we're going to want after takeoff, it's going to be, well, we'll have to see where we end up when we turn towards about 193 is the rough heading we're going to be flying down to it on that radial. So we'll dial that in. Get that around. There's 193, and we will set our heading indicator to runway heading of approximately 131. Let me just check. It is 313, so that will be in that area. And that is good. So we are set there. On our initial navs. Hi, Molly. Just lie down, please. Alright, so the nav radios are set up. We're set there. We're going to, now that we're powered up, we'll do our directional gyro. We'll reset according to the compass, and they are all set there. So flight instruments on the FO side is set, along with the roll spoiler, press switch, and the avionics cooling. Coming down to the center here, we have the parking brake is in park, throttles are in flight idle, control lock, engage condition levers are in fuel shutoff, flaps are in agreement, the flight idle gate is out and the light is on, and the autopilot and yaw damper buttons are off. Trims, we will just roll it back slightly for takeoff, about there, that's good, and that is set. So, ATIS and ATC clearance. Well, like I said, there is no one here, but we're going to be taking off on runway 31. We'll make our calls as per usual. We're then going to make a turn to the left, and we'll be following our course. So let's bring up the course, and we will take a look at it. I just got to find my maps. There we go. We'll bring in the map. So we're going to take off to the northwest. We're going to make the turn, head down towards the CVO VOR, and then we're going to head down to Eugene, Oregon, come down towards the RBG VOR, turning into OED FJS as we come down and back across the mountains here. And then we're going to come into the valley, RDD, RBL, down to ILA. And we're going to come down, and we're going to be landing at the moment on runway 02. So we'll swing out slightly wide and then come in for the ILS runway 02. So that is the plan for today's flight. You see San Francisco is down there. We're not far away from the San Francisco, Oakland Bay area. 2 hours flight time roughly for today's flight. So we'll close that down. And it sounds like everybody is on board. So let's get to the back door. There we go. We'll stutter there, and we'll get that door closed. And we'll get ourselves ready to go. So that's done. So before engine start, takeoff data, we got our speed takeoff. We're going to rotate about 92 knots. Doors and windows are closed. Anti-collision light is going on to red. Parking and emergency brake is on. Power levers are flight idle. Condition levers are all in shut-off. DC generators, all 4 of them are now going to come on prior to engine start. Alright, we're not pushing back. We're sitting here in front of the terminal where we parked last time, though they did turn the aircraft around for us overnight. So we are ready to go. So start order 3421. I'm going to select engine number 3, clear 3. Engine number 3 is rotating. And as our NG comes up towards 20%, we're going to add fuel. And there we go, engine 3 starting to fire up. And we're basically going to do that 3 more times.
Please fasten your seatbelts low and tight across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings
once we reach up into the green, and that's 70, there we go.
To release your seatbelt, lift the upper
Pop
portion
up
of
top
the
again.
Start
will come off. We'll switch over to engine 4. Starting engine 4.
Please take a few moments to now locate one of the several emergency exits.
Here's our rotation.
In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. In case of an
NG's
emergency,
coming
you
up.
need to evacuate the aircraft. There is lighting on the floor
fuel.
that will guide you towards the exit. In the event of a loss of cabin pressure,
Look out,
an
see her
oxygen
spinning
mask
up.
will drop in front of you. Start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you, and place it firmly over your nose and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind your head and tighten the straps if necessary. And don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Oxygen is flowing to the mask, and you can breathe normally.
Again, we're waiting for that to come up to
If you're traveling
70%.
with children, now's the time to pick your favorite one. But secure your mask and then assist others. Keep your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it's safe to remove it. In the unlikely event of a water landing, a life vest is located in a pouch under.
There's our 70%. Starter can come off. We're going to switch over to engine number 2. Starting engine number 2.
Over your head. Wrap the straps around your waist and buckle at the front. Pull the strap to tighten. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord only when exiting the aircraft. If your life vest does not
Coming up
inflate
to
automatically,
20%.
blow into the mouthpieces for manual inflation. Each vest is equipped with a whistle and light. If necessary, your seat cushion can be used as a secondary flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the straps, and hug the cushion to your chest. Please securely stow your personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatory
There we
is
go.
prohibited by
Coming
law.
up for
All of this
70%.
information and more can be found in the safety card located in the seat back in
Start
front of
comes
you.
off.
We
Over to
suggest
engine
reading
number
this and
1.
letting the
Clear
cabin
1.
member know if you have any questions. Thank you for flying with us again, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
Engine 1 rotation. There's our 20%. We have ignition. There's us through 70%. So starter will come off, selector will go off. So parking brake is confirmed, on start selector is off, DC external power will now come off. And we are up on all 4 generators. DC and volt load is checked, battery temperature is checked. AC generators, let's pop up there so we get a better view, will now all 4 come on. Engine bleeds will go to low. We now have some air in the back. And popping down here, flight directors are now on both sides. PFCS lights are off. Prop auto feather is cell green. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Engine instruments are all checked. Everything looks normal. Hydraulic quantities and pressures. Quantities are good. Pressures are up across the board. Weather radar is inoperable. Flaps 15 is what we're going to take off at, and flaps are set. Flight controls. Control lock is disengaged. There's full forward, full back, full right, full left. Left rudder, right rudder. Elevator trim is set for takeoff. Yaw damper will now come on. De-ice pressure is over on this side, and that is checked. Ground equipment is clear and out of the way. So condition levers, we're going to bring engines 2 and 4 up into max RPM. And we're going to come back.
We're prepared for takeoff.
On the throttles to disc for taxi. Cabin is secure, steering is on, ATC clearance and taxi light will come on. All right. So bringing up the airport diagram. Salem area traffic, Allegheny 32, taxiing runway 31 via Charlie, crossing 34, Foxtrot, holding short 31 at Foxtrot. Salem traffic. All right, we are ready to go. So manual brakes, emergency brakes released, and out we go. So we're going to make a turn here to the right and basically follow this all the way down. Have to tweak the throttles, get our speed going. It is a little finicky. Now we're clear on the left. Again, another beautiful day here. A few clouds in the area, but nothing major. It looks like a very good day to go flying. Let's see if we get any ATC up. Maybe Oakland Center as we get down that way towards California. So the reason we're not on 122.8 and we're on 1191 is the US is doing a test of the CTAF system, the Common Traffic Advisory Frequency. So Unicoms are actually used for things like FPOs, where jets and executive aircraft would request stuff for service, or you'd call up and say, you know, we're, because you've already phoned to make, you know, schedule yourself in. You can say, you know, we've just landed, we're on our way in, or we're 10 minutes out on our way in, and they get the cars ready and whatever services you were ordering up stuff like that. Now watch this guy come out. He's going to turn right into us. Of course he is. So that's what the Unicom frequencies are generally used for, and some places will ignore that. Some places actually have a number of them, different ones for different services and stuff. The CTAF is the common traffic aircraft frequency, and that was what we'd be using around here, and it would be local to this airport. So 122.8, which is what VATSIM uses if no controllers are up, kind of goes everywhere. So you can hear all kinds of traffic, even if it's not for the airport you're at. This way you get below 10,000 feet, within about 15 miles, you switch over, and then all your radio calls would be local to this airfield. It's more in lines of what would actually happen. Alright, we're coming down here. We're going to follow this around. Molly's decided to sit right in front of my rudder pedals. We were out at the park the other day, and she hurt her shoulder on Friday. And was kind of limping slightly and a little bit of pain when she moved it. She's better now. She hasn't yelped or limped in 2 days, but I think she's sucking up a little bit. So there we are, crossing 3-4. Everything's good. No traffic in the area. Check that spy. We're the only aircraft here. And we're going to follow us at the 3-1, which is at the end here. I'm going to have to move her out of the way before we go. Actually, she's not bad. I shouldn't have to move the chair. Just going to right under my right leg at the moment. So we're not picking up the VORs. We're a little restricted with some of the hills and stuff in the area. We won't pick it up until we're airborne. So we'll fly runway heading and climb out, and then once we're up in the air, we should start to pick it up, and then we can head towards it. Alright, so approach path is looking good. Nothing down the other end. Wind's almost right down the windsock, but it's only a few knots. Well, 7. More than a few, but it's only about 10 degrees off of the nose, so it's not going to be an issue. There we go. So we are here at the runway. So we're going to take it as we are cleared out and ready to go. So we're going to come down here. Transponder is going to go on. Weather radar again is inoperable. Landing lights are going to come on both sides. Anti-collision light is going to go to white, and strobes will come on now as well. Alright, so fun final check. Up and down the runway, we are clear. Salem area traffic, Allegheny 32, take position, runway 31, Salem. Let's move out into position. We start with this aircraft always at a standing stop, just because there's a couple of checks we have to do before we start rolling. It's also good for shorter runways, sort of like the one we have here, to allow us to make sure the engines are at full power before we start to roll. That way we don't lose any distance at lesser power settings. Just come out and bring the nose around now. There we go. So we are now lined up. We're going to come down here, just give that one click over, make sure we're lined up there on our heading. So we're lining up, brakes are unconfirmed. All 4 engines are now coming up to maximum RPM, and they are set. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Power levers are going to come up to 3,200. And as we get there, see, we're going to switch that over into flight mode. Not sure why that got missed. And 3200, we should see the arm come on for the auto feather. There you go. We're going to power up to 4800 or as close as we can get. There we go, full power and brakes released. Salem area traffic, Allegheny 32 rolling runway 31, departure to the southwest. Airspeed's alive, there's 60 knots, 70, 80, 92. We're going to start to put in some back pressure. There's 90, adding back pressure. There we go, there's the flight gate coming in. Positive rate. We are climbing, so gear up. We are heavy, we're fully loaded today for today's flight. 48 passengers heading down to Sacramento. Alright, so we're going to come down and turn on the autopilot. And I'm going to let the nose start to come down. I want to get to about a 125 airspeed. We're going to go into IAS mode. That's going to hold our airspeed. Well, she doesn't want to. That's the thing with this. She won't engage properly with a lot of pressure on the stick. So let's try that again. And IAS mode. There we go. I wish there was an indicator up here telling me it was on. Anyway, we're now picking up the VOR. So we're going to climb up to 1,500 feet, and then we'll make the turn as we come out over the town. And our airspeed is good. So we're going to go flaps up. It's going to decrease the drag, allow us to increase our climb angle. And we're going to set our climb power now. So we're going to bring the engines back to 3,500. Right about there. We're going to bring the props back to 107. All right. So that's pretty close. And then we're going to bring the engines up to 44, or as close as we can get it. Right about there. So we are set. We're now passing that 1,500 feet. So we're going to turn to intercept the radial, and that's going to take us in. There we go, in heading mode. That's going to take us into our next VOR and set us on track. So climb power is set, landing gear is confirmed, up, flaps are confirmed, up, prop, auto feather, that will stay armed, it doesn't come off when it technically should. Intake deflectors are all retracted, flight idle gate is in and light is on, taxi light will come off, sig phase is fine, ignitions are all in normal, auxiliary fuel pumps are all off. Windshield heat is on. This is what you get for losing your place. Missed a whole section on the object, just going through it now. All right, we are good there. Throttles tweaked to keep that about that 140 number on the engines, and that will need adjusting as we climb out. You can actually see we're picking up both of the VORs here. The other one's 57 miles out. And the way I do this is when we get to within 10 miles, I will go into heading mode on the course we're on, switch everything over, and then as we intercept, go into nav and pick up the next radial. That's of course if we're picking it up properly. Alright, let me just keep an eye on that. We're waiting for that to come in. We're still climbing out. It's 4,000 feet coming up. Yeah, we're climbing at about 900 feet per minute. It should start coming in very shortly. We're doing a fairly gentle intercept. Again, this is not a long-range airplane. It's designed for short regional work. And as I mentioned a couple times, I actually did work on these airplanes. One of my first jobs out of high school. At the small regional airport where I live, worked as a fueler, baggage handler, cleaner, all that. We had about 4 of these, I think. 4 or 5. And it's slowly going to come in. Our power is starting to slide back slightly, so we'll give it a little nudge forward, back into the 44. And we're going to lose torque on those engines as we get higher. Just a mix of temperature and altitude and air pressure as we climb out. The needle's starting to come in. See the hills over there. We're going to be flying over a lot of the lower terrain, but there's a section that we will cross over, so we'll be seeing some of the hills. No real altitude issues in the part we're going to cross over. The MSA is around 11 to 12,000. We're going to be at 17, and we'll have some higher stuff off to our left, but should not be an issue. Needle's almost all the way in. There's 6,500 feet. And there we go. So we'll hit nav. Salem area traffic, Allegheny 32 is approximately 12 miles to the southwest, climbing through 6,800, last call for Salem. Alright, I'll switch over to 122.8 now. Push up on engines 2 and 3 a little bit. There we go. And we'll be slowly adjusting those all the way up as we go. But as you can see on the DME, 21 miles out from the next VOR. Some nice views out there. And as per normal, given the period of time for these aircrafts we're flying in, there is no in-flight entertainment or anything in the back. It's bring a book, read the newspaper. I still remember when they used to have a selection of newspapers when you boarded, at least business class, and they'd ask if you wanted to read the day's paper. Back before the in-flight entertainment came on. Well, even back then, because the first in-flight entertainment was one screen in the cabin, and they put on a movie. So you either watched the movie or you read a book, read the paper, stared out the window. That was your choice. It was very exciting when they brought in a library where you could choose something. You didn't have to watch what everyone else was watching. 8,500 feet. This airplane takes a while to get down as well. We need about 65, 70 miles to get her down from cruise. First Officer Molly down here wanting attention. I'd take her for a walk after this, but it's a blizzard outside, which given that about a week and a half ago it was 19 degrees on Celsius. Winter's not leaving us alone. We are coming up for 10,000. And we're 14 miles out from the VOR. Alright, so we're going to turn our heading indicator over just so it'll hold that when we engage. There's 10,000 feet, landing lights coming off, and the air is calm. Seatbelt signs can come off as well.
We are now passing through 10,000 feet. So now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. As a reminder, please keep your seatbelt fastened while you are seated and do not congregate in the galley or near the lavatory.
And we've still got a while to go. Climbing all the way up to 17,000 feet today. So we're 9 miles out. So what we're going to do is come in. We're going to select heading mode. I'm going to switch over to the next VOR, 1129. We're going to switch over here to the next VOR of 1082. We'll set that here in the standby. And and we're not reading that one yet. And after 108.2, 1136 is going to be the VOR. So make sure that is dialed in over there. And the heading we want is 158. So we're going to come down here and dial in 158. And when we cross over there and the line comes up, we'll switch back over to nav mode. And we'll be heading off to the next VOR, which is the Eugene VOR for Eugene, Oregon. It's 12,000 feet, 5,000 to go till cruise. And the little purple magenta arrows pointing towards the VOR that it's tuned in on nav 1. So we're not heading to the main Sacramento airport, we're heading to Sacramento Executive Airport, and their CTAF is 1195. So we're going to dial that in just so it's there and ready to go when we get down there. And we'll see if we get contacted by a make sure that's correct. It is. Unless ATC comes up and wants to get a hold of us. Starting to come in. A few clouds in the path here, but nothing major. 26 miles out from Eugene. And there we are, just about in line, so we'll make our turn. There's the mountains off in the distance. We are still climbing upwards. Down to about a 500 foot per minute climb right now. We're holding our speed, so the climb rate will slowly come down as we get higher. So 14,000 feet, 3,000 to go. Concerned about that. 21 miles out, and we're still climbing up. Try to bring the engines up a little bit more. back to the 44. There we go. Hey! Or81, thanks for the sub. Greatly appreciated. Speaking of which, if you are watching and you haven't done so yet, even if you're watching this later on, please consider subscribing. Helps the channel, boosts us up, gets us more recognition, lets me know people enjoy what we do and what we see. Consider liking the stream as well, and leave a comment. If you have any questions about what we fly or where we're flying, feel free to ask. I've been flight simming for a long time, and I don't know everything, but I've got a bit of experience in it, so you are more than welcome to ask away. For those that wish to fly along, all my live streams are community flights. If you wish to come along and join us, we stream currently Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1930 Zulu, and you're welcome to come along. If you come over to the Discord, I'll put the link in the chat. You can find out what we're flying, when, and where. Currently on these streams, we're flying this Dash-7, basically to all the states in the lower 48. And you can come along if you got something that flies at about 200 knots in cruise or so. You're more than welcome to come and join us. Information on the Discord is up about what we're flying, when, and where, and you can also get help if you have any questions, and lots of knowledgeable people there about aircraft, the sims, all kinds of stuff like that. If you really want to help for the price of roughly a cup of coffee a month, you can consider joining the channel. Helps with things like payware aircraft and payware scenery and stuff like that. It allows me to bring it to you guys and show it to you, and make sure we're all getting the best out of the sim that we can get. So we're almost up to cruise. Still a little bit more. We're still in this valley here, heading up to Eugene, Oregon. Just about 1,000 feet to go. Push them engines a little bit more. Power's really falling off as we're climbing here, but we're almost there. So we are going to be going back and forth between east and south heading, but overall our destination is to the east of where we took off, so that's why we're going up to a odd flight level. Looks like VATSIM just disconnected and we reconnected. That's fine. It's doing its thing. We're still climbing at 500 feet per minute. We've got 700 feet to go. And we should be able to get up to about a 200 knot cruise once we're leveled off. If I take a look at the weather chart and I pull up the wind, let's see what the wind is doing here. We're going to be headwinding it most of the way. Winds are out of the southwest, heading northwest, but they're not too strong. We're around there. Yeah, they're about 20 knots, 25 knots for most of the trip. Fade off a little bit when we get closer down to Sacramento. 300 feet to go. We are in altitude capture now. And First Officer Molly has decided to have a nap. Alright, still not picking up the next VOR. That may be a low power one. I'm just going to check. It is low altitude and low power, so it's 57 miles between, but it's usually 30 to 40 miles we pick it up. So we're going to fly the outbound heading. So outbound on this one, we're going to want to be going 174. So what we're going to do is, as we come down here, we're 5 miles out now, so we're going to line up on the heading mode. We're going to go into heading mode. We're going to now swing over to 174, and we're going to wait for that to come in. And when that's in, that is our radial down to the next VOR. And once that one actually registers and we are seeing it, we'll switch over and fly the radial into it instead of out of Eugene, Oregon. So we should be able to see, well, there's Eugene down below. You can see it all right there. We're flying by on the kind of western edge of the city. You can see it nicely laid into the mountains there. We're now at 17,000 feet. We're going to set up for our cruise power. At 17,000 feet, we are going to want to be running at a fuel burn.
In a few moments, our lovely flight attendants will be starting our in-flight service. We'll be serving complimentary drinks and snacks. Premium drinks are available for a small
of 360
pounds
pounds
only accept credit cards
per hour. And we just overflown. So we're going to come back this way and recapture. But while we do that, we're going to come down here and we're going to pull back on the power. We're on 107 on the props is fine to 360 pounds per hour on the fuel. So coming back, so there's 480 or 380. There's 360 on all 4 engines. We'll just make sure they settle there. There we go. So cruise power is now set. And we're going to settle into our speed. Our ground speed is going to be a little bit lower since we are kind of flying into a quartering headwind here. So it's going to extend things out. There we are on the radial. We're going to go into capture mode. We're now going to fly outbound on the 174 radial. And that's going to take us down towards the Roseburg VOR. So we should pick that up within about 35 or so miles of it. So that would be roughly 15 miles out from the other one. We should see it kick in and we should see the orange needle flip over and pick it up. You can see we got a slight crab going here dealing with that wind. And we're only up to a 173 knot ground speed. So the winds are going to be slowing us down. But as I mentioned, when we get further south, the wind should ease off. Alright, so as we're cruising along here, we're going to bring up some tunes. Give us a little bit of music in the background. Let's see what we are feeling like today.